Well, he
Totally
also
is a
said
joke.
he's sharpest before 8 p.m. So, say that the Pentagon at some point picks up an incoming nuke. It's 11 p.m. Who do you call? The First Lady?
He has a team that lets him know of any news that is pertinent and important to the American people. He has someone or that is decided obviously with his National Security Council on who gets to tell him that news.
I really don't envy this lady's job right now. I mean, her job is to make the president look good. That's what she's paid to do. She's not paid to tell the truth. She's not paid to do anything else besides make the president look good. It's kind of difficult right now, especially after that debate. Yikes. But what I do find interesting is that all of a sudden the journalists are asking the questions. All of a sudden, all of the cheap fakes that the journalists were talking about are now real. I pity how the average CNN enjoyer must feel right now. Like, seriously, put yourself in their shoes, and you have CNN talk to you about cheap fakes and how actually Biden has never been more sharper. And then after the debate, it's like, well, actually, you know what? We just didn't want to report on it because we were afraid that the White House is going to suspend our press credentials. We didn't want to get in trouble with that. Like, we didn't want to lose access. So we were just going along with the flow. And yeah, like those cheap fakes, they were, some of them were true, right? Like some of them were. Imagine how they feel. But then again, I have seen during the pandemic where one day it was stay home, stay safe, and the other day was like, we need to put Black Lives Matter in danger and ask them to go and protest, even though it's a pandemic. Keep the businesses closed, but like protesting is fine. Do you guys remember that? And people were like unironically supporting both sides of the conversation. So when it comes to that, maybe people that watch CNN don't have a problem with this. It's like, oh, well, cheap fakes. Okay, well, the next day it's like they're real. Oh, okay, you know, it's like maybe they're like that. But I do love the question, right? The question is like, if the debate went wrong because he was tired, like he gets tired after 8 p.m., but like before 8 p.m. he is very sharp and aware. What do you do if there's a nuke? And the answer is like, well, he has a team. And it's like, well, yeah, lady, obviously he has a team. Like every single president has a team because like the president isn't awake 24/7. And the president isn't in the White House 24/7. Like he may be on a business trip. He may be somewhere else. He may be in the kindergarten like George W. Bush. So if something happens, like obviously there is a team, but the question is like when the team finds out about it and they decide, oh shit, like this is pretty urgent, we gotta tell the president, and the president doesn't happen to be in one of his sharpest moments, that's what the journalist is asking. And, you know, I get it, he is exaggerating with the nuke, but like what if something happens in the China Sea? You know, like the Chinese and the Filipinos are having a go at it. What do you do? Do you intervene? Do you not intervene? Do you phone Chairman Z and talk to him about it? Like, can he do that if he presents himself the same way he presented at the debate? And my goodness, the cope on Twitter is like, my favorite take was that, no, he actually understands the questions, he's aware. And I'm like, okay, so this is the requirement now for someone to become a president in the United States. Like, this is like the level we're at. Like, if the president can understand the questions, know what he is talking about, and is awake, like, that is the requirement to lead one of the strongest nations in the world. Naruhodo. And then, oh my goodness, I will have to show you guys Whoopi Goldberg, like, tomorrow. Basically saying that she doesn't care if the president poops his pants. And I'm like, I mean, again, like, this is the standard. This is the level. And I think, like, most of these people understand that the current system is all about wealth extraction. Like, the managerial class. It's not about caring about one's country, having love for one's country. No, it's literally about, like, extracting wealth and giving it to the special interest groups. And you don't really need a politician in order to do that. Like, sure, he is the face, like the CEO of some company, and he makes some decisions. But at the end of the day, as long as you have someone that just reads from a prompter and is just the face of the whole thing, that's enough, right? Like, you don't need the states. In fact, it's probably better if you just have someone that signs the documents and shows their face on the camera, reads the prompter. That's the best president that you can ask for. Like, as long as they're a Democrat, it's fine. Can be literally anyone. So, yeah, they like Joe Biden, but they're afraid that the people may not vote for him. That's what they fear. And I have seen, like, many Democrats, on one hand, joining meetings and trying to pressure the president from stepping down, but that's not going to happen. So there was, like, this Democrat who talked to the press, and the press was like, okay, so you guys are all on the same page? And he's like, lady, we're not even on the same book. It's like, oh, good God. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting, especially if Joe Biden wins. Like, can you imagine 4 years of this? Will the press pretend it doesn't exist? Because I think this is what's going to happen. If Joe Biden wins, all of these questions and all of these things will just go away, right? Like, the press will pretend that they never had these conversations, that people never doubted whether or not he's having a senior citizen moment. And everything is going to go back to normal. It's going to be like last year again. Because the only reason they're freaking out now is because they think they're going to lose votes. Like, they're afraid they may actually lose the election. So this is the only reason that they really care. They don't really care about, oh, well, can he do his presidential duties? Of course he can. You know, the same way he did up until now. But will he get elected? Oh, well, that's a different story. A lot of people didn't like what they saw. But again, the question is, like, will they actually choose not to vote for Biden? Because that's the end of the day. And I don't know. We'll see, I guess. I mean, definitely it didn't help him with the people that haven't decided yet. People that are in the middle. It's kind of weird, like, people that are in the middle. I mean, when the division is so strong that the left and the right barely has anything in common at this point. Who's in the middle, though? Like, how can you be in the middle, right? Like, most people have made up their mind already. But I suppose, you know, like, I suppose there may be some individuals that are like, well, I don't know. Like, do I want the Republicans or do I want the Democrats? Yeah. I'm looking for more press conferences with this lady, because she's kind of funny, and the seething on social media is funny. It's like, oh, she needs to crack down on the press. The press never acted like this with other spokespeople, and it's like, really, have you not seen what they did with the spokespeople that Trump had? I mean, they hounded them even after they stopped working for the White House. They were doing their best in order to make sure that those ladies don't find jobs anywhere. So what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, like, the press were being cheeky little shits before. This is nothing compared to what they did. And they're like, oh, she needs to take away press credentials. I mean, I guess she can, but at the end of the day, you do need the press if you're a politician. Like she's not doing this as a favor to the press. Like, if you're a politician, especially before the elections, you actually need to reach the people and convince them that, well, actually, he's not having a senior moment. So I think the press actually holds the power here, because if they were to decide to give a blackout to the White House and just stop reporting anything the White House says, I think, like, she would be the one that would beg them to come back. Not the other way around, because, like, the press can always report on other things. Right? So, good luck, like, taking away their press credentials. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. And of course, if you like the channel, there's a link into the pinned comment, and it will take you to my subscribe star. Take care.